Good morning, students. Today we will study an interesting poem from your book Honeycomb, Class 7. The name of the poem is The Squirrel, and the poet name is Milner Bowers Armstrong. Now let's read out the poem. He wore a question mark for tail, an overcoat of grey. He sat up straight to eat a nut. He liked to teach and play. And if we ran around his tree, he went the other way. In this poem, the squirrel, the poet, Mildred Bowers Armstrong, describes a squirrel that he observes in his garden. The poet describes how the squirrel, covered in grey fur, sits in an upright position on a tree branch and eating a nut. His tail looks like a question mark because of its bent shape. The happy and lively squirrel loves to play with the poet and her friends. Whenever they ran around his tree, he would run to the other side of the tree. The poet tells us about the nature of the squirrel, that it is innocently naughty and likes to teach anyone who comes near him. This is very interesting poem which is written by the famous poet Mildred Bowers Armstrong. He wanted to express about the activity of a squirrel. Now let's focus over difficult words from this poem. The squirrel, difficult words. First word in first line, wore. This is the past of were, and we can also say V2 of were. Second word, overcoat. According to meaning, a full length suit or garment. In this poem, overcoat means denotes as a back strips of the squirrel. It denotes like a overcoat. Strips line. Third word, sat. You know very well. V2 of seat. Teach. Fourth word, teach. To make fun or play. We can also say, according to poem, disturb to someone. Went. V2 of go. We know very well, go, went, gone. So went is V2 of go. Now let's study about related questions from this poem. What's the name of poem and poet? The name of the poem is The Squirrel, and the poet name is Mildred Bowers Armstrong. Second question is, do we usually say that an animal wears a tail? What do we say? We usually say that an animal has a set of given characteristics. Rather than saying wear, the poet, however, uses the word wear to indicate these external characteristics of the squirrel. In this poem, the meaning of wear suggests something of an outer covering, for instance clothes. Third question is, he liked to teach and play. Who is teaching whom? How? The poet liked to teach and play with the squirrel. Whenever the poet went a little close to the squirrel would run away in the other direction. Now let's again read out the poem, every student, and understand carefully.